I was reading over here this morning with Romans 7, and I was wondering, but what I hate, that I do. Paul was talking about him doing things that he hated. And then the evil that he didn't want to do, that he found himself doing over here in this text, in Romans 7. But anyway, he doesn't expound on what it is, And so we think, maybe it's, I'm not going to expound on the things that I do that I hate, either. But we tend to think, well, it's some small thing, Maybe he didn't pray long enough, but that's not what he's talking about here. He's talking about something we know: in this flesh dwelleth no good thing. So, brothers and sisters, this is something, and I believe that Paul, a problem he had in his flesh body. But anyway, for I delight in the law of God after the inward man, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? But anyway, I thank my God it's Jesus. But my point here was, he didn't expound on his sin, on his particular problem. And we don't have to expound on ours. I don't think it's particularly wise for God's people to. We used to have these people would get up and give these testimonies of these horrible things they did, and one got and they would get up and one would try to outdo the other one, well, so I worship Satan and all this kind of stuff. But no, I don't believe in dwelling on our particular weaknesses in our flesh. But I do think it's important that people should know that there is this inward battle, this war going on amongst within God's people. Because if they don't know this, they'll despair, I believe, because we all have our weaknesses. Again, I say, I'm not going to expound on mine because the great Apostle Paul didn't expound on his, but he did admit it right here in Romans 7, that he was a fallible man, and there was this law of sin in our members, in our flesh, the part that goes back to the grave. But anyway, let's see what I want to. It says, now, if I do that what I don't want to do, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. So, brothers and sisters, if you find yourself, doing the thing that you hate, the Apostle Paul went before you and showed you that we are fallible men. And even the Apostle Paul said, for I find in the law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. So sometimes, brothers and sisters, we do things that we don't want to do because we're fallible men. Anyway, I hadn't had all my coffee this morning, but I was just thinking about, what was this evil that Paul did, I don't think it's anything like me, but we tend to think, maybe he didn't, maybe something, some little thing, but compared to our weaknesses, but I just wondered what it is. But one good thing that I did notice, like in this text, that it didn't expound on it. And neither do we have to. Anyway, let me get out of here before this gets too long. Peace and love, Miss old boy down here in Alabama.